Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. We're going to talk about the halving. 7 days to go, you know. You've probably heard of it. So welcome everyone, I hope you are good. If you're new, subscribe, hit the bell button, like button, all that good stuff. Comment, say hello, and yeah, comment on my hat if you want. So, time that you're watching this, probably be about 6 days, give or take. You know, we're nearly there, right? It's an event that happens every 4 years. It is the Bitcoin Olympics, essentially. It is also the Litecoin Olympics. You know, all these other coins that are on the same patch of code that we know that dodgy mining that costs a lot of money, not the greatest in terms of long term. We need to solve a few problems with that one. Anyways, enough of that. That's for another day. Let's talk about it. Block halving, what is it? It's where every 4 years the halving reward of the blocks that the miners get for the game theory to break the algorithm, essentially to crack the code, they get rewarded with that. So let's drum this down into simple terms. Imagine you're going to work, you're earning $50,000 per year. Tomorrow you go into work, unlikely with the pandemic and stuff, but you're then told you're going to be earning $25,000. Your income, your revenue, whatever, has been halved. This is what is happening with the miners. Now, usually, long-term scarcity gives you a bullish feeling about this. However, caution. Last halving, we dumped after it, then we steadily rised after due to what would transpire as a bull run. I think that will happen again. I personally believe that because the lower we go in terms of how many units of Bitcoin is generated from the reward will indicate they need to dump, in my view, personally. They're getting less and less. It's more valuable every time. It's a really good time to sell on us right now, in my personal view. So if you have a bit of FOMO, if you're listening to other cryptocurrency YouTubers and other people on Twitter, Reddit saying, oh, it's the last chance to buy before 10k, I wouldn't believe it. So how does it work? This is a really good website, bitcoinblockhalf.com. It's really good. Shows you how the likes of scarcity and stock flow ratio models work, and it also gives you a bit of information about what it is and how it all works and why it kind of works in such a way it does. Obviously here we've got a chart. Halving 1, halving 2. There's the big dip. Now it doesn't look like much, but that is quite a severe dip at the time. We don't know what's going to happen. Like, we cannot go off past events to say that, it could be the first time ever this is an incredibly bearish event. It could be because of the pandemic. We are at $9,000. You got to think bearish for a minute. Miners have to sell to have cash to allow them to continue to operate because the halving's going to slash their revenue no matter what the price is. They're going to get half the amount of income. That's huge. The difficulty has to adjust as well with the halving. Every 2 weeks that takes time. If the price goes down, that will help the difficulty go down faster. It will help them stay in business because it is less costly to mine the coin. Even though they're getting less per Bitcoin, they want less transaction fees of electricity, power, all that stuff. So you got to think bearish. Bullish, we go to the moon. Simple as that, right? People get very excited about it. FOMO, pandemics happening, people at home, people getting checks from the government. All kinds of people are like, oh, but what's Bitcoin? I'm bored at home, I'll buy Bitcoin. Boom, 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 boom. Now, I think it's unlikely. I think due to the size of the miners versus the buyers, I think there's more miners that are going to sell over people buying at these levels. That's my personal thought, not financial advice. I would err on the side of caution. If you have already bought Bitcoin from prehistoric days, dinosaur ages, you should already be holding anyways. If you're new to the world of crypto, buying at halving, before halving or after halving is a bit sketchy. Wait and see what happens. Wait to see what the dust settles. That's a realistic thought process. However, let's talk about this. Major Chinese crypto miners. Now, China own and have the most miners in the world. I think it's 71%. Give or take, last count it was 71%. It's quite big. Maybe even less than that now. But there we go. Obviously, 1% believe. So they believe in that there will be an influx in buyers. I think that too. I think there'll be a huge influx of new people coming in. But I also think we'll get dumped on at the same time. I think miners will take that opportunity to cash in get some fiat, keep their operations running at a smooth rate over a long time, because they can project the earnings. They will know over time mathematical data of how much they need to operate. And then over time they'll know when the price hits a certain level, the difficulty adjustment will also turn off, electricity costs, all that stuff. They'll know all this information. That's how they run. So with that, be mindful. And I'm going to talk about something in a second, so bear with me on this one. So in terms of this, it's optimistic. It always is optimistic after halving, but it depends when. Is it going to be 3 weeks after? Is it going to be 3 months after? Or will it even be like a year or 2 years after we see the effects of this? We don't know. We cannot even state that. But there's a lot of people going, oh my God, this is so bullish, it's unbelievable. When in fact, there's no facts to it. It's just blind faith. It's speculation. It's a speculative asset. So please be mindful of that. In terms of whale alerts, this is a big thing. Huge, huge thing. As it stands, and I will say this very, very bluntly, as it stands right now, there's a lot of activity. More than normal in terms of big moves. So there's some big Bitcoin wallet moves. 30 million Tether moving from an unknown wallet to Binance. There's a lot of wallets moving from unknown places right now, and they are scaring people a little bit in terms of the circles that I'm in, what I've seen on Twitter. This has created a pump this morning, which is interesting. More money going into the market as it stands. But there's a lot of money coming from random places to random places that are unknown. That's normally not the case, and that would indicate that miners could be moving assets around just to get ready. Because you got to think, these miners, they're generating 12.5 BTC every 10 minutes in some cases. That adds up quite nicely, right? You think about how much Bitcoin some of these transactions are. They're not all traders. They will be the big institutional mining algorithms, the mining outlets, obviously institutions as well, investing at these times. So it's definitely interesting to see why over time. As you can see, these are pretty big. Some of them are pretty big. They used to be. We've just hex scam. Anyways, that is definitely interesting. Anyways, I want to talk about one more thing finally before I end you. I'm not going to kill you, don't worry. Before I end, this is the interesting part about it. I personally believe right now we are overvalued. I think $9,000 where we are, we're hitting resistance. We've gone from 3,700 all the way to 9K with one swirl sweep. It's halving momentum, let's be honest. Let's just talk about that. It's halving momentum of news, people bullish, people getting free money to put into Bitcoin, and also the miners are like, oh, let's keep it going. People buying it up, institutions pumping it, getting it up, getting profit, getting money, making money. They will catch people out. They will pull the rug. They will definitely pull the rug. So there's a website called Coin Fair Value. Now look into this with a pinch of salt, but it is speculative value, and it goes off certain elements that, with Bitcoin, it goes on certain things like fundamental data, the cost of mining, for example, transactions, volumes, all kinds of stuff like that. How much it actually costs to do a transaction as well. Now, a lot of these coins on here are pretty good. This isn't a bad website to get a little bit of an overall feeling of the fundamental data. That are you paying a good price for the asset that you want? The better off value being, you want this to be actually higher than the current price. That's the idea. Current value in terms of Bitcoin, we're at $9,000 right now. Fair value suggest we're overvalued by over $1,000 right now, which isn't much in the grand scheme of things. But to some people, that could be a real indication that it is fundamental hype and all kinds of, just high marketing, people getting bullish over an event that's been bullish in the past. Could mean a potential warning to us lot. Anyways, when you look at this and look at the fair value price, there's been times where we've actually been below it, which is kind of, it's a lagging indicator, we can see that. But it all goes off fundamental data. When you look at other coins, there we go. Anyways, other things to mention on this one, as I say, price. Some of them feel like they're really overvalued. Like, you get this one, for example, here, Stellar Lumen. Fair value is 33 cents. With current price is 0.07. So it's totally crazy. XRP, majorly again, it seems to be undervalued. Ethereum appears to be undervalued. Binance coin, again, undervalued. A lot of coins are undervalued right now, but Bitcoin is the one that seems to be overvalued right now in terms of the price proposition, and probably the pairing of USD as well on that. So that is a massive interesting point to talk about. Are we expecting to see an altcoin push very soon? Well, potentially. Some of them are obviously showing overvalue. For example, Tesla's obvious because it's been pumping like crazy right now. But it's definitely interesting to look at. And personal opinion is, I think we are going to see a downturn. I think we are going to come down due to miners selling. I think if you're going to say to someone, I'm going to take off half your income, well, actually, I'm going to sell some profits right now. We've moved up 160%, guys. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. So in that case, it's going to correct. It's going to get pretty savage, I think. So yeah, be careful. Halving is around the corner.